At Liberty with a smile.
Hi, I'm Clint Webb, and I'm running for Senate. I have a short cropped haircut, a pretty enough yet accessible looking wife, and a newborn baby that I've dressed in a suit to prove to you that I mean business. For the last 15 years, I've lived my life in such a bland, uncontroversial, and repressed manner that it's almost unnatural. Why? Because I've been preparing to be a representative since I was a child. Most well-adjusted, sane men would be hesitant to take a job where their decisions would so drastically affect the lives of so many. But not me. I possess a sort of sociopathic narcissism that makes me think that I should be in charge of everyone. But all of that needs to start here at home, in this beautiful state that I've grown to love since I moved here 18 months ago. Together, we can piggyback some of our state's legitimate needs onto my unquenchable lust for self-glorification. And that's a promise.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever you want. That's why we call it Free Talk Live. You are free to call in and talk live here on the radio. We have more than 200 radio stations here on Free Talk Live. That gives you a loud voice, and yet you still go on social media and get in political arguments with people there when you could reach so many more people here on Free Talk Live.
Do we have any way of telling how many people are listening to us?
Yes, there are ways that have been traditionally used, Arbitron, and there's download numbers and all kinds of things like that. These days with media, you kind of have to piece things together as opposed to just using one source.
What was your last guesstimate?
Well, I would say that it's fair to say that probably 500,000 people listen to Free Talk Live in a given month with millions of listens. So 500,000 unique listeners with millions of listening sessions. One thing you need to consider is that every segment on the radio is considered is a segment. So if somebody listens on their actual car radio to the whole Free Talk Live show, then they've had 12 listening segments as radio defines them. So they have these things called quarter hours. So there you go.
That's thanks. I didn't know about that quarter hour thing. That's good.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, 500,000 listeners is probably the thing that people want to know the most, because I can definitely figure out that about 250,000 people listen in a given week, and I presume that some of those people don't listen the next week, and then you can just sort of cycle them in, cycle them out. So, Jay, apparently marijuana is saving lives in Colorado?
Well, according to this article anyways, from the WashingtonPost.com,
not exactly some sideline blog someplace.
Right. And yeah, a lot of these mainstream media outlets have been kind of anti-cannabis. You know, they kind of run with the establishment agenda, is, you know, from what I've noticed over the years. So I do like seeing that there's something that kind of contradicts the stigmatism of cannabis, you know, in a mainstream post like the Washington Post. So in Colorado, opioid deaths fall following marijuana legalization. Now, before I go on, one thing I was in Colorado. I moved there in 2014. Mid-2014 I moved there for a few years. And I would go to this Liberty on the Rocks meetup once a month.
Yeah, they used to advertise here on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, and one of the folks that was there was an EMT. Mm-hmm. And he was full-time, worked for City of Aurora or something. And he became very pro-marijuana after his industry started to realize, and he started to realize that literally a lot of the calls are for overdoses of opiates or heroin overdoses. Sure. People on the street, having seizures and flopping around or just don't wake up or whatever, and people call.
Right.
And there's a lot of homeless, and Aurora is like a suburb of Denver, and it's got all the other same issues that
The people
big
who
cities
pay the
have.
taxes for the emergency services are not generally the people that use the emergency services. At least that's what I hear from the emergency services.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And anyways, I remember him saying, he goes, and this was, a couple years into it, and he says, our opioid overdose calls are down. And he literally figured because less people were getting into opiates because they had an option, a non-lethal option of pain management called cannabis that they could go buy at the store. And that's
I think that's probably a pretty fair estimate. Also, I know a guy, right? I having never been addicted to opiates, I can't speak to this, but I have heard from. Well, I'll tell the first story first. So I know a guy that was addicted to opiates and heroin, and he beat it on his own smoking pot. He said that smoking pot basically made it so that he didn't have the the jonesing effect or whatever, the addictive effect, that sort of feeling that you wanted to have, whatever that was, and that he managed to between marijuana and his desire to quit heroin, he quit on his own.
And I know an opposite story. A kid here in New Hampshire, he's an adult, he's like 35. He got hooked on heroin. Literally because he works for a paving company. He's got a Class A CDL. He's got a hydraulics license for working in Massachusetts, and he could not risk failing a roadside urine test.
I see.
So DOT police pull over truck drivers
and make them pee in cups.
And here, pee in a cup.
Yep.
And so he's got a chronic shoulder issue, so he
had to take opiates.
He gave up the cannabis.
Yep.
And got a prescription for Vicodin. And then
got addicted.
And then it started that Vicodins weren't really working unless he snorted them, and then bad deal. And now he's like he's still got a CDL.
Yep.
He's still driving a semi truck, doped up on heroin every day because it's the only way he can function. I haven't talked to the guy in about a year. I don't know what his situation is now. But I did a lot of work for the paving company he worked for a couple of years ago.
But he was snorting Vicodins at one point. I have an idea that things haven't really, the sun has not shone on this.
He's got tracks on his arms, and I'm like, dude, what's that? He's shooting up.
Great.
But anyways, back to the article.
Well, hold on. I did also speak to somebody who had an alcohol issue, and they said that they managed to stop drinking just by smoking pot more, or I guess probably not smoking, but these days one can consume marijuana products so much more easily than you could in the past. So there's edibles, you can buy these gummies, there's vaporizers, there's all kinds of things that make it not as distasteful as it was when I was a kid.
I have a few friends that struggled with alcohol, and in Massachusetts with their recreational cannabis, the one girl literally goes and spends half of what she would spend on alcohol a week on gummies.
Right.
And has like one a night.
If you think about these, these situations, it kind of makes some sense. I mean, alcohol is going to give you a hangover. Bars certainly make alcohol very expensive. It's terrible on your liver. Obviously, there may be some health issues related to consuming copious quantities of the devil's lettuce, right? I'm not giving advice here. I'm just saying that alcohol has its downside. Think about the calories. I mean, there's no calories in marijuana.
That's
if
another
you're
thing
vaporizing it.
That happened with this girl is she lost, she's at a body weight that she is happy with now, which is huge. For her. It's like she has less of a desire even to drink just because of the fact that she quit drinking and she lost weight.
Right.
It's a win-win.
Nobody likes being fat.
We have CBD receptors in our body, and CBD is in cannabis.
I've heard from medical, folks that's not amazing. Like, we must have alcohol receptors too. I don't know, that the whole receptor thing isn't. I was talking about that at one point. God must want us to smoke this stuff, right? Because he made, the receptors for it. But I think I hear that maybe
the alcohol is nice for the dopamine release, is my understanding.
Okay,
right. Yeah,
that's why people go after it,
and that's why another reason it's so addictive.
Yeah. Well, let's go on here. Apparently it's there's deaths are down in Colorado due to legalized marijuana.
According to my EMT friend, yes. Marijuana legalization in Colorado led to a reversal of opiate overdoses deaths in that state, according to new research published in the American Journal of Public Health.
Now, that's a pretty big deal. Okay.
Well, I guess when you start, looking at the statistics, you just look at places where it's been legalized.
Yeah, look at these cops that have been for decades trying to stand in the way of legalization. They didn't give a darn about this stuff. It's like, we got police unions and we need to fill the coffers.
After Colorado's legalization of recreational cannabis sale and use, opioid-related deaths decreased more than 6% in the following 2 years, writes author Melvin D. Livingston, Tracy Barnett, Chris Deckler, and Alexander Wagner. These authors stress that their results are preliminary, given that their study encompasses only 2 years after the date of the first recreational marijuana shops opened.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that 6% is some stunning amount, but it's at the same time, it's significant. It's statistically significant. 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
You're not a wild animal, and you shouldn't be tagged and tracked like one. Where you go and what you do every minute of the day, tracked and recorded by your mobile phone, is often more revealing than your browser history. And tech companies make a fortune selling your location history without your consent. GoDark bags prevent location tracking and protect your privacy by instantly blocking all cell phone, GPS, and Wi-Fi signals to your mobile device. Plus, they're durable, water-resistant, and built for a lifetime of protection. Visit GoDarkbags.com/FTL. That's GoDarkbags.com/FTL.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you wish you could do whatever you wanted in your dating or relationship life instead of being locked into certain relationship or marriage models that don't make you happy? Do you wish you made more money on less hours? You can do both. I'm Caleb Jones, and my staff and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income, location-independent businesses, and how to date women under your terms. Go to freelifeinfo.com to download 7 free books and podcasts so you can live a life like this too.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people?
Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
Michael.
Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. We're talking about an article here from, Washington Post, that apparently legalized marijuana is saving lives in Colorado. Before we get back to that, I want to tell you about a new advertiser, Balance of Nature, that we've brought on here. And actually, for those who are, hardcore listeners of Free Talk Live, you probably are familiar with Riley Blake. Riley edits our podcast to shrink it down to a digest form. So in that case, he takes every episode that is 2 hours long, shrinks it down to 40 minutes. You can speed that up and listen to a Free Talk Live podcast, basically, in what Riley thinks was the most important parts of the episode in 30 minutes. So, that's a thing. Riley works at Balance of Nature, and Balance of Nature advertises on the radio quite a bit. So he sort of made it so that we worked something out. And I've taken the products. It's hard to complain about products that are basically fruits and vegetables and spices. And, they've got a formulation of spices that they, say, makes you healthier. And I wouldn't doubt it, right? Spices can't be bad for you. It's hard when you have a complicated work-life schedule to get all the fruits and vegetables you need. With just 3 of the Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their vegetable capsules, you get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. That's all you're going to need in a given day. That's pretty good. So your skin looks better, bags under your eyes go away, increased in energy, body pain is reduced or goes away, getting sick less or not at all. These are some of the things that people report from Balance of Nature. We've got a limited time offer here. You go online, become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. And after your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no extra charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Go to balanceofnature.com. and use coupon code FTL. It's balanceofnature.com, coupon code FTL. I think you're going to like the product, especially if you're not getting the fruits and vegetables in your diet that you need to get. Balanceofnature.com, coupon code FTL. Let's go to David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I beat it on my own, too.
What's that?
Sometimes I get help.
Might be trolling us.
He might be. You're getting close, David. What's up?
Hardcore, trolling hardcore. Better shrink it down, David. Dissection and analysis. So that everybody is perfectly clear on the message from the other day. When politicians go on radio stations, there's an exact formula. And so the politician is on the radio station with the host, and they're pretending to take phone calls, questions, and comments for the politician that wants the vote. And the caller calls in and waits in line, and then he's live on air.
Yep.
And
the noise happens.
And asks the question or makes the comment.
Yep.
And like I said, often the host of the radio program will, if the person starts to make a comment, instead of asking a question like a game show, like Jeopardy, the host will immediately cut off the caller and say, do you have a question?
You have a question for our guest here today.
Right, yeah. And so then the caller, being sufficiently cowed, will then ask a question. And so the caller will say, for instance, Mr. Future President, what do you think of red flag laws regarding guns? Are you for them, against them? And then what
they answer a question about something completely different because the caller has been flushed like a used hanky, used toilet paper, gone. And then the politician answers any old thing they want to answer because there's nobody to hold them accountable.
Right. And all of the listeners, or 90% of them, sheep that they are, don't notice what just happened. And the only people that notice are the caller, who's then at that very moment is talking to the politician that just deflected the question, did not answer the question, not knowing that they've already been silenced. Because remember that when as soon as the caller asks the question, one of two things is done by the host, because they have two options that are commonly exercised. One, if they're being nice, the host will mute the caller. So the caller is actually still on the phone and can still hear the politician, and usually does not hear any switching noise on the line. A trained ear can pick up that they've been muted. A trained caller can pick up that their voice has been muted.
I just muted you, David.
Difficult. Did you?
No.
Yeah, it could very well be.
But I did right there. And you're back. And you're back.
Yeah. Did you dump the? Yeah. Now I heard the static. So any one of two different, or any one of different things could have happened there. So I don't know when my voice was being heard and when it was not. You do, but I the caller don't, right, even with a trained ear. And so getting back to the two options, the caller will either be muted and still on the line, and most callers will think that their voice is still being heard. So the caller may even be talking and nobody is hearing them except for themselves.
Sure.
Right. And then if the host wants to be really tricky, they can then unmute the caller, and the caller can be heard again, and the caller will never know that they had been muted for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever it was.
Right.
And neither will the listener over the air.
One of the reasons I would say, in defense of that particular practice, I'm getting some kind of feedback here, David, so I'm going to mute you for just a second. One of the defenses of that practice is just what happened. Right? So I was getting some talk back on David's line, and you can't hear it now. Now, I don't know if his line's fixed, but I've got him on hold, so you can't hear it. And sometimes you'll have background noise, and what Ian will do is sometimes use a potentiometer to slide it down so the background noise goes down, and a variety of things can be done. But go ahead, David.
Right, and then presumably I'm back.
Yes,
I'm either back or I was dumped. Yeah, okay, so I'm back. So I heard the static. But anyway, and the other thing that the host will often do is the second you ask the question, they immediately dump your call, so you're completely gone. And then, like you said, Mark, then the question that I posed to the future president is, what do you think of red flag laws regarding guns? Are you for or against? And then the president candidate will say, I support firearms rights. I really do. And did they answer the question? No, because I didn't ask about firearms rights. I asked about a specific law that I'm interested in, and that's the game they play.
So, David,
it's the truth. Absolutely. You want to hold David over?
Well, I just want to tell him that we're doing Freer Talk Live, and there will be a politician on. Nobody who's running for mayor of Keene.
There you go. Get him, David. Do Freer Talk Live.
Yeah.
How do they find him?
Tonight at 10:30. I guess on Twitch or Discord.
Yeah, our Twitch channel, Free Talk Live.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in. Talk about whatever's on your mind. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Want to advise you to join the State of Anarchy, folks, this September the 13th through the 15th, so not long from now, like 9 days, for the conference Anarchadelphia. It's a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in, you guessed it, Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to promote self-ownership by shining light on issues ranging from geopolitics, blockchain economics, and spiritual health and wellness, as well as by exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge. Featuring Mark Passio, Jeff Berwick, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Luke Rudkowski, Carrie Wedler, and many more of the most influential minds in the freedom community. All Anarchadelphia guests are invited to attend 3 uniquely stylized after parties, Friday through Sunday, where they can let loose their favorite freedom advocates. So, let loose with their favorite freedom advocates. Sadly, we can't make this. There's a conflict, and I'm sorry. I would like to go to this event very much, and that's why I'm doing these reads for the Anarchadelphia folks, because I think it's going to be a great event. And be advised, I am not charging them for these live reads. For more information, go to anarchadelphia.com. Anarchadelphia.com, and follow on social media for updates. I think it's going to be a great event. And these guys are a lot of fun. So anarchadelphia.com. If you're in that vicinity, I would recommend it highly to go and check it out.
The guys who are putting on this event did a show with Ernie Hancock a couple weeks ago that was pretty good. And it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't make it either. I got to get my house all winter ready. But yeah, so I think
you are doing a special show tonight, though.
Yes, I am.
And tell me how to view this show. You go to the Twitch channel,
and DLive. It'll be streaming on.
Right. So that's twitch.lrn.fm and dlive.lrn.fm. Those are the 2 ways to go view what you're doing.
So it's going to be myself, Nobody, formerly known as Rich Paul, and our friend Silver Dave.
That should be a fun show.
And we're gonna just kind of talk about what's on our mind. And I know Dave's really into this gun church thing and wants to talk about that. And we're gonna talk about some campaign strategies with Nobody. Maybe getting some horses up here in a hayride wagon in the Keene and having some fun with that in the near future, if possible.
Shoot the bull, as it were.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot the bull, basically. Yep.
All right. Well, tell me, let's get back to the story here, how weed is saving lives of folks addicted to heroin in Colorado.
Back to the article. While numerous studies have shown an association between medical marijuana legalization and opioid overdose deaths, this report is one of the first to look at the impact of recreational marijuana laws on opioid deaths. Marijuana.
So, as opposed to medical marijuana, which is the same as recreational marijuana,
except you need special licenses,
right?
And in Colorado, you have to so you have a little permission slip, so you can go get marijuana. And I think there's no tax on it. To where in Colorado, the thing was that everybody want to go see a cannabis dispensary, but it'd be like 25% tax or something crazy. And
yeah, I think that there's
in the medical there was no tax. From what I understand,
I wouldn't be able to tell you, what the jurisdictions go, but I know that there is a tax on recreational weed in Colorado.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and they're doing lots of things with that money. If you're in some jurisdiction around America, just understand that the places that are enjoying the most taxes right now are the places that have legalized weed. What you've got going is you've got the police unions that you're feeding money into, and they're costing lots of cash. But you got to pay for that anyway, whether you have legal weed or not. Well, the weed is taxed, and you get the revenue.
Essentially, the law enforcement industrial complex was very anti cannabis legalization in Colorado. The Police Officers Association put in tremendous amount of money against this, and the lawyers and whole 9 yards.
And I'm not surprised. I mean, maybe the answer in these red states that don't want to legalize weed is just offer the tax revenue to the cops.
Well, my stepfather, he owns like about 1,000 acres out there, and in Colorado, he farms. Big farm operation, and he actually. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like a rebate he got, and he wasn't on board with this. He wasn't on board with legal dope, as he called it.
Yeah.
All the dopers are going to be coming here from California and the hippies. And
well, here's a surprise for you. It's basically been legal in California since the mid-'90s. So they had a medical marijuana, but it was the most lax law in America.
So when he got a rebate check from the county because he overpaid his property tax, because they took this county money because there's like a state tax and a county tax, I guess, on cannabis. And they took the county money and they put it towards the schools. So what had happened is everybody, or a whole bunch of large landowners who pay a massive amount of school tax got some relief. And all of a sudden they were cool with it.
Oh, well, suddenly weed's okay, right?
Yeah,
reefer rebate? Reefer rebate.
I guess that's
the
what
reefer
it was.
rebate.
Back to the article. Marijuana is often highly effective at treating the same types of chronic pain that patients are often prescribed opiates for. Given the choice between marijuana and opiates, many patients appear to be opting for the former. I know people who are afraid to take opiates.
Sure, I am.
Deathly afraid. Even myself, I had a tooth pulled a few weeks ago, and I'm like, I don't need pain meds for this. He's like, nah, maybe a little, ibuprofen or something. I said, okay, I don't want any opiates. He goes, no. He goes, a lot of people don't want opiates.
Yeah.
And they're clear about that. This dentist told me.
Well, I was prescribed opiates. This was back, it has to have been 15 years now, for an automobile accident. And I wasn't really in any kind of pain or anything like that. It's just that's what they did. They just prescribed them to you. And I slid it back across the counter and said, no, thanks.
Yeah, good.
I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want somebody taking this script. I don't want anything to do with it. You can have this script back. And I have taken an oxycodone, half an oxycodone one time. And I had ruptured an eardrum from diving in a pool. I was getting my diving thing, and I have learned since that I really have to equalize. But nonetheless, it was one of the most painful experiences of my life. I took this, and suddenly the pain was gone.
Life got better.
Right. Life got better. I'm talking about my childhood with my wife, and I'm like, I don't think we need to go to the hospital anymore. We turned around. I went, and she put me to bed, and in the morning, I felt better. Most of the pain was gone, and I didn't need to take it again. So I'm not saying that one doesn't need that these pills shouldn't exist. I'm just saying that you are responsible for your health. You are responsible for your status of being addicted to something, and you've got to determine what your life's going to be like. And that's what I'm glad I did at that time, and thank goodness.
Back to the article. From a public health standpoint, this is a positive development, considering that relative to opiates, marijuana carries essentially zero risk for fatal overdose.
Right, you're just not gonna overdose on the weed. You're gonna overdose on alcohol or anything before you're gonna overdose on weed.
Now the study
and die.
Now the study in the American Journal of Public Health suggests that similar findings hold true for recreational marijuana legalization. The authors examined trends in monthly opiate overdose facilities in Colorado before and after the state's recreational marijuana market opened in 2014. They attempted to isolate the effect of recreational rather than medical marijuana by comparing Colorado to Nevada, which allowed medical but not recreational marijuana during that period.
So, at this point, they're saying about 6%, the change has been about 6% to the positive of deaths of people in Colorado because of the legalization of weed and as a recreational status. I think that's great. I also think that it's likely true because marijuana's pretty good for pain, and a lot of people use it for that. So,
opiates don't actually deal with the pain. They deal with brain receptors that sense pain. And marijuana actually deals with pain in a certain particular way.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
Anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
If you owe money to the IRS, you need to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. It starts with a devastating letter, and if you don't act immediately, you could find yourself having your wages garnished or have a lien placed on your property. But there's a solution. Tax 10,000 can help. Avoid enforced compliance, where these holds on your income and seizure of your home could become a nightmare that just won't end. Call 800-239-9957 now and speak to one of our experts. 800-239-9957 is the number to link you directly to a tax resolution specialist who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, all the forms will be handled for you. All you have to do is make the toll-free call. 800-239-9957. Find out if you qualify and and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars, not to mention a lot of headaches. It could be the best call you've made today. That number again, 800-239-9957. The service does not provide tax settlement or legal services. We will refer you to a company that does provide such services. Often the IRS will not agree to any reduction in the amount owed. Not all taxpayers who owe more than $10,000 will qualify for a tax reduction program.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Final segment. Might be able to squeeze your call in. I'll give the numbers out if we'll see. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
Michael.
And I want to thank the amplifiers. If you go to amp.freetalklive.com, you can support Free Talk Live and allow us to bring this ability to speak freely here on the airwaves on 200 radio stations to even more people, and even more podcast listeners. I want to thank specifically today David, who is a Free Talk Live amplifier, silver amplifier. And David, without folks like you, we wouldn't be able to do it. So go to amp.freetalklive.com and do as David has done. It's amp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to Ron calling in from New York. Ron, you're on Free Talk Live. Listen to WGGO.
Hey, good evening. I heard you mention the OxyContin. That's one of the things this Epstein guy was using on some of the girls to stupor them. He has a shop set up in North Jersey, a couple speakeasies. And one of the girls has a site. It's a blog she wrote, Danielle Sittel, Sittel on Google. And the picture of the hand over the glass, captioned, "Police admit you dragged a 3940." She says, "Pay attention."
Thanks for the call, Ron. Really appreciate it. It's whenever he calls in and pushes this Sittel thing, I'm told to dump it. Ian has gotten irritated with the promotion of the site.
So, I mean, is there any validity to the Epstein thing?
I have no idea what. I wouldn't doubt for a second that Epstein was.
Sounds like that's like the classical way to get the consenting young
prostitutes
is to get them hooked on dope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, alcohol and drugs have been used for a long time to get some consent out of some folks, and well,
yeah, cocaine, from what I understand, is a currency of strippers.
I wouldn't know, but
I got a friend of mine. He's from high school. He works in a strip joint, and he's convinced that the state police of Massachusetts are distributing all the cocaine, and they're the ones who distribute it in a strip joint that he works for, and it's like a huge thing.
Wow.
He tells me about this stuff all the time.
Let's go to the AMP only Discord call-in line. The Christian Anarchist here. Gene, can you hear me?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to call about Muslims because I just came back from a 3-week drive around Europe, and I got to rub elbows with a lot of Muslims in the gas stations and stuff when I stopped for gas. And,
what did you drive, a diesel or a gasoline?
It was diesel.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a diesel Renault.
Yep.
You got about 35, 38 miles a gallon.
And did it go good?
It went pretty good. I got it up on the Autobahn. I got it up to about 110 miles an hour.
That's fine.
Which was about the
Hope you're in the
limit,
slow lane.
Yeah, it wouldn't go much faster than that. But anyway, I went through Munich and I went through Italy and France, and I ran into a lot of Muslims. There's a lot of Muslims in Europe.
Okay.
Now, I also ran into someone at our church gathering who is one of those diehard Trump fans. And
a European Trump fan?
Yeah, no, this is at our church here.
Okay.
And so he was telling me, and I told him we went around Europe, and he got to talking about the Muslims there, and I said, yeah, there's a lot of Muslims. I ran into a lot of them. But my impression of the Muslims that I ran into, and I'm sure there are some criminal gang Muslims over there that'll slit your throat, but the ones that I ran into were friendly. They talked to me. They would, they didn't seem like they hated me. They just seemed like they were trying to buy their gas or get their groceries or whatever it is they were doing, and then be on their way on and live their life. They had their wives and their children's, and so.
You mean they weren't monsters?
No, they weren't monsters. In fact, for the most
yep,
part,
the Muslims love their children too.
Yep.
I would imagine they're in a very bad situation in their country, and they're just trying to get out of there. The countries have been bombed to crap mainly by us, or not by me.
Or the Saudis with American bombs.
Yeah, but somehow, they've all been bombed by U.S. dollars, and so they wanted to get out of there. I would do the same thing. I would take my family out of there. And this guy was so afraid that it's some kind of Muslim invasion. And yes, there's a lot of Muslims immigrating. But here's this experience that we've had in our very own medical practice is we would have, there's this family that comes in, and grandma has, she doesn't have a full hijab on, but she's obviously all bundled up like a Muslim woman. And then the daughter is there, and she's just wearing a scarf and some very common-looking Western clothing. And then there's the granddaughter, who's probably 18, and she's wearing cut-off jeans.
Yeah,
and
none of that. She's having none of that.
A blouse that's kind of low and nothing over her hair.
Right.
And so this is the thing that happens with people that immigrate. The children reject the training of the parents. It's kind of a thing.
Assimilation to the culture.
History.
Yeah.
Yeah, this happens throughout history. So, yes, there's a lot of Muslims coming to Europe, and now more and more here. And some of them may be bad. And I'm not saying that there aren't any bad ones, but I would say that the greatest portion of them are just like my ancestors, who were Italian, and they were kind of looked down upon. And, they didn't like those dirty Italians when they immigrated over here. But, I've got...
Or the Irish much either, from what I understand. This is something I've pointed out over and over again. And, some people really take it to heart. Other people, they've got this this cudgel that they want to beat with the drum they want to beat for Muslims. And basically the problem is welfare. If you make a system where Abdul can leave his wife at home and she doesn't get out and mix with the American ladies at work, and maybe after work with after they go out or whatever it is that they do, if they're not mixing, then of course you're going to have this problem of assimilation. But if you make it so that free people can cross the borders of countries freely, but they get no handouts, then you're going to have an entirely different situation, because Abdul's going to have to put the wife to work so that the family can, do well and that kind of thing. At which point she's going to go to work and she's going to be like, how come I'm wearing this restrictive clothing and these ladies are running around, without all this stuff on? How come I have to be the different one? And whatever it is, they're going to assimilate. Look, the Middle East was pretty darn Western before the CIA kept poking its nose into their business over there
and creating these Islamic jihadist monsters. This is a creation of the CIA to destabilize these nations.
Well, even if it wasn't
give us an enemy to fight,
even if it wasn't a direct creation, even if it was an indirect creation,
well, they helped fuel it.
One certainly cannot deny the correlation, and I would go ahead and say the causation. All you have to do is take a look at Western countries and the CIA specifically, their involvement over there in the Middle East in the 50s and the 60s, and how this just kept on growing. Yeah, you're right. Churchill didn't like the Muslims. And yeah, that was before the CIA's involvement. Absolutely.
And places like Libya, before we got involved in there, were going very, very Western. They had nightclubs. The girls didn't have to wear the restrictive clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was very forward moving before we got in there and messed it all up.
Baghdad, Mosul,
Yep.
Iran.
All of them.
Yeah. All of it.
All of them. And so I don't blame the people for wanting to get out of there. Well, who wants to live there? I wouldn't. So
I wouldn't want to live there. I'd want to get out and go someplace that's freer, and hopefully not change it too much to return to the things that I came from. But
I think a lot of them don't want to change it. I think a lot of them are secretly hoping that those in their particular group that want to change it will not be successful. I think there's a lot of them that are saying, they've got their Muhammad or whatever that's in front of the crowd saying how much he wants to get on the, bring in this restrictive law and stuff. But I'll bet you that 50% or more of the people listening to Muhammad are hoping that he fails.
I think that probably one of the big sticking points seem to be, in some of these countries, in the United States included, is pork in public school meals. So, this can be used as a sort of an anti-Muslim tool. To me,
they can bring their own food.
Well, I think they should be able to bring their own food, and absolutely probably should do that. But I don't think that you should just purposely have pork in the meal. I mean, have an option.
There shouldn't be public schools.
Well, how about we just get rid of children's meals altogether, and everybody just brings a sack lunch? I brought a sack lunch when I was young.
I think you might be right. 855-450. I'm giving the telephone number. Check out freetalklive.com. Sign up for our newsletters.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad, and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years, with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,547. Silver at $19.30. And Bitcoin is trading around $10,605. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, the United States military has effectively surrounded Venezuela ahead of a possible military intervention. There's a new report that the U.S. military has been deployed to the impoverished South American nation of Guyana, the first time in a decade. The country is located on South America's North Atlantic coast and borders Venezuela to the west. The 4-month-long deployment, led by the U.S. Air Force, is called New Horizons Humanitarian Outreach and is intended to serve as a stepping stone toward a prolonged relationship with the Guyana military forces. Activist Post reports the Air Force hopes relationships with the country can firmly develop amid the increasing influence of Russia and China in the region. The latest deployment is about 600 U.S. military service members. Their purpose, according to military.com, will be to construct community centers and a women's shelter. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news.